Hello, your fellow Catgirl supremacist and Ezra admirer Lumlum here. Back during the Dominizer arc of my channel, something I pathetically yearned for were comments on my YouTube videos. Bear in mind, this was back in the day when I was editing videos using iMovie and I was actually recording my face. Yeah, SundeePie and I made a lot of mistakes back in the day. I say it was pathetic because back in that day, I was getting about 4 views per video, so I mean, like, what was I expecting? Nowadays, I get about 20 or 40, which isn't that big, but there are massive outliers. I have gotten over 10k views on 2 of my most popular videos. I want to point out my miraculous one, seeing as it has by far the most interaction out of every video on my channel. I find myself going back and engaging in the points that people bring up. For instance, on one of my Komi-san videos, which is now deleted for the safety of my channel, which is the most painful thing I've ever had to do, someone said that their gripe with Manbuggy is that she revolves too much around Tadano, and that her character was defined by the whole love triangle thing, which I will admit is a fair argument. Once the whole love triangle drama is over, she won't really have anything to do in the series. Considering how important she was before, it does feel weird that she's being sidelined. However, I will admit that Tomohito-sensei is at least attempting to give her some more panel time by having her interact with characters such as Wakai-kun. I'm glad I got this comment because it brought a whole new perspective that I didn't recognize in my videos. Believe it or not, I can make mistakes. Well, I make a lot of them, but you know, if you think I'm perfect, you know, and you're a big fan of me, you're very wrong. But I think the point that I can make mistakes is what I want to bring out in this video. This video is not going to be a heavily edited slideshow of anime images. I mean, all you've probably seen by now or is just, you know, a line jiggling and my profile picture is just smack bang in the middle. I just wanted to have a relaxed time editing this, okay? Don't come at my throat, alright? Instead, I just want to lay back and read the comments that you guys left so I can see what you want me to start, what you want me to stop doing, etc. That out of the way. Let's start with the debate, which I honestly, you know, I think this was pointless since my comments keep getting deleted. Also, this doesn't have to be said, but if you dare harass any of the individuals who wrote these comments, please do me a favor and unsubscribe. Thank you. These first 2 comments are on my Something Cursed videos, where I dive into the world of media series that have characters that justify taboo. Taboo includes incest, noncery, etc. The person who made these comments tries to justify the actions of Eruko and all the teachers I mentioned in my Nande Koko ni Sensei ga video. They read, I actually really like the series. It's wholesome, has a good story, and I love how the characters interact with each other. And he's not that young, he's 17. Also, most age of consent in America is between 16 and 18, but I heard it's more strict in Japan despite what people think. But if they are both in love with each other, his parents giving him their consent, and he's literally a year away from being 18, I don't see the problem honestly. Next one reads, dude, it's not that bad. The teachers are literally only a few years older than them. You're acting like they were mentally damaging and corrupting them. It's not that serious, bro. Okay, there is a lot to unpack here, so I'll try my best to address their main points. Essentially, what they have said is that it's okay for women in their 20s to date high school boys. Not just 18-year-olds who can actually consent to adults because they're adults, but 17 and 16-year-olds. I kid you not, had the genders been swapped, they wouldn't be saying the same thing they are now. Why, as an adult, would you want to find emotional and romantic fulfillment with a child? It makes no sense. One of my friends made an amazing point. The statement, children can consent, is a fallacy. I'm pretty sure the majority of the internet would agree that regardless of the age of consent in other countries, it still isn't okay for adults to see that as an opportunity to have their way with children. Imagine a 16-year-old trying to pick up a girl who's in grade 7. But then you say they're only a few years apart. Some people are apart by 4 or 5 years. I get it. My parents are apart by 5 years, but they only fell in love with each other when they were both adults. I'm here, a senior at my school, being called sir by people who are 14 years old. If even 14-year-olds are addressing me as an adult, even though we are apart by 4 years, then I would feel very uncomfortable if I heard that someone my age tried to date one of them. The sad part is, I have. So saying that an adult is only a few years apart from a child doesn't sit well. Also, what kind of logical parent would want their child dating middle-aged people? Now, to address the mental damage and corruption point, you see, the thing is, this part doesn't even matter, but I'm still going to address it. One of the boys, aged 17, gets domed by his 21-year-old teacher. There are no parents there to give her their consent, so she technically broke the law. He even said no multiple times, but she carried on since Ulu sees his bulge. At this point in the manga, this guy suffered a potential career-ending injury and felt guilty that his teacher lost his job since they were perceived to have done obscene acts together. What do you think the most logical thing she could do in this situation would be? That's right, not doing the thing that got her into trouble in the first place. Wouldn't you know, iya, mate kudasai doesn't always mean go harder. Now, let's look at some criticism where I believe I am completely at fault. This comment from a Komi-san video read, before I deleted it, "You gotta chill with the screen flickering." This is one of the most valid criticisms you could give me in terms of my video editing. I use an application called Shotcut to edit my videos, and it is really limited compared to software in the Adobe suite. The only way to really master Shotcut is by learning how to use keyframes, and that's about it, I digress. Some visual filters in Shotcut aren't built in. For example, the VHS filter, which I tried to replicate to high hell but with little success. What you have to do is combine a multitude of video filters such as RGB shift, glitch, and film grain, and I guess I tried doing that way too often because I really enjoyed the VHS novelty, but clearly it wore off for some people. Don't worry though, I'll try using VHS a whole lot less in the upcoming RWBY video, where I am trying to replicate a specific editing style from 2 music videos and 1 TV show intro. I honestly don't know how it will turn out since the RWBY video will only be recorded way after this one. The next few comments will talk about the same thing. From my Miraculous videos, people have made requests. These comments read, "Have you read Scarlet Lady?" The next one replied, "I definitely recommend it. The creator does a great job with the characters and I really enjoy their take on Miraculous." Lastly, I know he didn't mention this comic, but there is a fan comic called Scarlet Lady. It's a fan comic that works with the writing of the show and somehow makes it good. They even kept the part of Chloe being unlikable, and they gave her a motivation to keep being unlikable without having to change her character or having a 180. It's actually really cool. I've heard your pleas. I'll read Scarlet Lady and review it. I might even comic dub it Snapcube style if you really want me to in another video. I also think Chloe being an unlikable protagonist would be very subversive. Who knows, I might even see an r/nice girl version of Marinette who feels entitled to love and affection because Chloe is an utter pig sow. I actually held off on reading it because you guys are requesting it. Now, let's go to my most controversial video of all time. Is Lucy Heartfilia waifu material? I think enough time has elapsed to reassess this opinion. I've gotten a few comments on this video, so I thought it would be worth going back and looking over Lucy. This comment reads, "She is waifu material 100% for many reasons. 1. Her looks. 2. She has a bubbly airhead personality, which I personally love. She is only mad at Natsu and Grey all the time because she is around them all the time. 3. She will help anybody and her friends when the time comes and never gives up. That's why she is waifu material and one of my top waifus." Now, let me tell you how I grade my waifus. Number 1, looks have absolutely nothing to do with it. As they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Number 2, interesting and compelling personality that is informed well by the character's backstory. Number 3, interesting morals. Number 4, age. I mean, at some point, all anime fans have to get out of their high school girl phase. Number 5, where they align on the Sakura scale. The Sakura scale exists as an instrument to measure the uselessness and lack of agency of female anime characters. Uselessness being on the y-axis and lack of agency being in the x-axis. Typically, you would want to rank very close to the origin. This is where you would find your Urzas, your Makimas, sadly. On the top right, you get your Sakuras, and well, whoever could possibly compare to her in uselessness and lack of agency. Now, let's do the checks. Lucy can be described as beautiful, but I mean each year is harder than her, to be quite frank. Her personality could be better, not gonna lie. Her backstory is pretty emotional. I mean, I did get caught in my feelings a bit when her dad died after he tried so hard to repent for everything he did to her. Morally, I mean, it's nothing we haven't really seen before. She's just as good a person as Urza, but I find the reasoning behind Urza being a good person to be definitely more interesting than Lucy's. Age, she gets a pass, and finally, the Sakura scale. She ranks at about, 5 for uselessness and 5 for lack of agency. She used to be a 10, to be honest, but that's because she didn't have star dress at that point. Now that I have everything calculated, do I think that she's waifu material? She's borderline, alright? In my opinion, Lucy is borderline. Now, for the last comment. This is literally the worst take I have ever seen. She's not even the prettiest. You are 100% correct. I should never have made this claim. The prettiest is clearly Ichiya, followed by Erza. And that should do it for now. I think I addressed all the comments I needed to, or at least wanted to. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why there was a lack of comments praising my videos. Well, that's because I didn't want to include them since I personally feel I'd be stroking my ego if I did. I'll say what they were briefly. Essentially, people just really liked my takes on a lot of things, and also people really liked my OC. Thank you for that. It's inspired mainly off of Harley Quinn, and the clothes are anything I really want them to be. So, with everything out of the way, I should make my announcements. Number 1, when the hell am I releasing videos? You know, the ones that I promised. Soon. What's the next video? Worlds End Harem if I decided to edit this video after it. No, wait, no, before. Number 3. What can we expect from the year 2022? Nothing much, really. Matric IEB will forever be Satan, and life will always be difficult. But you know what they say, tough time never lasts, only tough people. I have been your fellow femboy and subject of the Church of Jaden Animations. Thank you. Good night.
Made in Tokyo, damn, just like most my clothes, damn. Shane on Skateboard P, Skateboard BV, my OG. Whole city waiting on me. Fuckboy hate on me like it's they only J.O.B. You owe respect, yeah, pay your fee. I changed the game up like the last level, got beat as P.I.G. And I did the Jesus pieces. I did